Alright, new video, and we are up against Unsafe Airplane playing Angels in Pioneer. So, this hand does nothing. That's an immediate mulligan. This hand... Ooh, yeah, we couldn't keep that. Right, we're on 5, so we'll get rid of the Clarion. Yeah, we'll take rid of the Clarion, because we have the Biotech Specialist to get us to our 4th land, and the Helix. We just gotta hope this isn't anything... Well, we were hoping this wasn't anything too bad, but we know it's Angels. So let's get Biotech down. Okay, opponent seems to have a slow start here, so let's just attack in for 1 with the Angel. Opponent's checking our colors here. They either have a land destruction effect, or they're just making see what we are. This is one of the things where being off meta might be a bit of a favor for us. Oh, they are a bit off meta too. Yeah, there's a Righteous Valkyrie, so we'll pop the Biotech. That gets us a land, and it does damage here, which will be enough. Now we can cast the Helix. But first, we're going to use Tyrant Scorn, because the Helix doesn't actually kill him. Second Biotech down, put him down to 16. Now, if they have another land, they could go into Company or Kyler's Reconstruction, so we'll see what they go for here. This is definitely presenting a Company here, but we're going to go for the Bring to Light. I think our best bet is a reload here. Honestly, we want to make sure that our opponents... We outpace our opponents, so it's time. So let's make sure we hit the button correctly this time.
Reload!
Alright, our opponent is definitely running a Company. I think they were checking their deck to see if they have anything that could respond to a Bring to Light, but they don't really have tax pre-board. Yep, see? I've played enough Modern to know when someone's presenting a Company. Alright, Righteous Valkyrie and a Wojak Investigator. Interesting choice. Gives you an investigation token if we have more lands. Or is it more cards in hand? I can't remember off the top of my head. Interesting thing. Biotechs have done a good job keeping the life total down, so we're not in danger with the Righteous Valkyrie right now. Yeah, the Besage on the thing would be funny. Ooh, Overseer and gain life with Righteous Valkyrie. Alright, we have our land. So, I think our best bet here is to Vanishing versus the Valkyrie. As I said before, the 2 killer cards you got to watch out for when you play against Angels is Righteous Valkyrie and Resplendent Angel. Those two together are the S tier kill things. Now the other one to obviously be scared of is the Bishop of Wings for just the insane amount of life gain they can get. But yeah, alright, there's a Bishop of Wings, speak of the devil. Before that, we will Helix the Overseer, just to make sure that they don't get a spirit out of it. Bishop of Wings is such a good card, man. This deck is actually relatively budget if you want to get into Paper Pioneer. 20, yep, they're going to swing in. We'll pop the Lander token to do 4 damage, keep their life total below 27 here. We'll get another land, so we're covered. So we now have enough to go for a Bring to Light into a second spell. So I think our best bet here is... I'm looking at all our potential options, and I think we just got to go for the Tybalt line. So Tybalt minus, get rid of the Bishop. Then we can hold back. We have a count. Well, we can't cast the counterspell because we only have 1 blue. I should have probably grabbed a blue. That's one thing I will say on 5-color decks. Always check your double colors. There's a Resplendent Angel, which is dangerous because now they gain life. If they want to go after Valky here, they have to swing in with both, which means they have to lose something. So, yep, let's kill the Righteous Valkyrie. That's a fair trade. Oh, they have Viganjo. Interesting. In response, then, we'll Helix the Resplendent Angel. They'll still lose a Righteous Valkyrie here, and we'll lose a Tybalt. But we top deck another Bring to Light, which is perfect, so we can just grab another Niv Mizzet here to get a full reload. And we have a handful of removal and another Biotech. So let's Vanishing verse the Angel and just get in here. They have a Cavern of Souls. Skyclave Apparition takes one of our Biotechs. We have another Biotech, so we'll use that. Then swing in for 6. Pass back. Biotechs with free toughness is really sick. They can actually block a lot of stuff in this format. The more I play Biotech, the more I'm getting impressed with it. I had it in Commander in one of my decks recently where It did like 6 damage because I had a Lofo that had generated a couple of treasures. And literally, we were just getting board wiped, and so I just popped it anyway to get more damage. Okay, so this is a board wipe and removal matchup. Now, they presented a Cavern of Souls, which means that they probably have, so you gotta consider the things here. The most dangerous thing they have is obviously both the Resplendent Angel, which can churn out an army of angels, and the Righteous Valkyrie, which is kind of their super lord and their stabilizing life gain. Plus, remember, everything in their deck is flying, so evasive, so you want as much removal as possible to deal with it. Genuinely, I think I was just reading that comment about the stuff it lets you do with your friend list. It's such a terrible friends list, guys. Don't advertise it. Okay, opponent. So this has... yeah, I think I can keep this. So, we have removal. One of the big plays this deck does is a turn 1. Yep, there's a mana dork. So, we're going to set up for a turn 2 Helix here. We just got to hope they don't go for anything too... Oh, they go for Resplendent, which is perfect. So we can Helix, kill that Resplendent. They run it back with a second Resplendent. So we drew a third Helix. So we'll Helix again, play another land. So we're on 26 life here. Opponent looks like they're missing a land drop. Oh my god, they're going to get so mad when we literally just go Lightning Helix the third one. And we'll put Valky here to see what we get. We'll take that. They have a Kyler's Reconstruction, so they're clearly trying to get more mana for that. Deafening Silence. We run that card on our sideboard. I think our opponent doesn't realize that Deafening Silence doesn't stop the Bring to Light shooters, because it says you can only cast one non-creature spell a turn. So what we can do is literally just go and get Niv off the spell. Right. We're just going to get the Yorion here. No blinks. He's a good flying blocker. Going to buy us some time. Opponent plays next land for the Angel. And again draws into... I'm looking at how the Kyler's Reconstruction always seems to hit the next Kyler's Reconstruction. It's so crazy to me. Going to Vanishing Verse the Overseer so they don't get any Angels from it. We'll attack in. Put him down to 9. Pass back. So, we have no more information about the hand. They play another Redain. Oh, it's a god, not an angel. How is that not an angel? Okay, so, we're going to attack in, see if they want to block. They don't, they go down to 5. So, let's Unmoored Ego here. And with the Unmoored Ego, I think our best bet is to take away the Righteous Valkyrie. And, yep, I probably should have tried to spell Righteous. So, this is a quick deck check, and we see there's nothing there. So we take out the 4 Righteous Valkyries. They play Chitana's Welcome. Go and attack in for 2. We draw a double Supreme Verdict, so we'll hold back. They have to block here, I think. They don't want to go down to 1, knowing that we have Helixes in our deck, but we have used 3 of them. They have their 4th Bishop of Wings. I have no idea what their turn was here with the draws. Youthful Valkyrie. So we'll gain 12 life. Attack in. We'll trigger Valky to copy the Bishop of Wings so we can just bounce off each other. There's a Bring to Light, so let's Bring to Light here. And I'm going to grab Reborn. Go for the reload. Oh yeah, a full spread of cards here. Attack in for 4 here. They go for the block to make 3 1/1 spirits to draw some cards. We took care of the 3 of their righteous we took out their righteous Valkyries and their 3 of their Resplendent Angels. So they literally don't have any other big bombs here that can just win the game. So with our time here, oh yeah, opponent concedes. Yep, they got rough. All right, we're up against World Souls Rage here. Now this is a relatively interesting combo that can be built 2 ways. There's the Lumra Loop It Over and Over Again version, and there's also the World Souls Rage max damage version. So let's get the Ancient Cornucopia down here. I was assuming that this was just Simic big stuff, but when they drop the Broker's Hideout, I'm like, oh, this is World Souls Rage, so we need to gain life. So what we need to do is just cast spells and gain as much from our Ancient Cornucopia as possible. They are setting up really quickly here for a big turn. Virtuous Strength, yep. Right, I think our best bet here is we've got to try and find something to kill this Spelunking. We don't, so let's just take the Widespread Thievery. There's a Nissa. There's a Broker's Hideout, so this is 2 land drops to trigger Nissa. So this will tutor either... Yep, there's an Omnath. Oh, it's an Omnath version, interesting. Yep, Omnath will draw a card. We pass back. You know what? I'm going to play the second Ancient Cornucopia to gain life, then play the Widespread Thievery here. And, wow, okay, we'll put the Maelstrom Pulse under it, and we're going to hold back with the Wandering Mind. Should have blocked there, if I'm truly honest, because, honestly, blocking would have been a smart move so we could Cosmic Rebirth back the Wandering Mind to try and find another answer here. Opponent is doing some maths here. Right, land, so they're going to gain a bunch of life, a bunch of mana. Double landfall from Nissa finds them another Nissa. They now have enough to play the Virtuous Strength, which now means all their mans tap for additional manas. So I think they can literally Will Souls Rust for 16, yep. And they bring all their lands back, yeah. I can see to that. We were going to die to the Omnath third trigger. So we need counter spells in and back to nature to take out effects like that. Artifact removal. Joshua's a bit slow. Supreme can come out. Shuko can come out. And one of the Widespread Thieveries can come out. Basically what you need to do here is you need to prevent them from getting anything that brings their lands into play untapped, or anything that gains them value from lands entering. So I can't set up here for a turn 2 Normalize, but I can set up for a turn 3 Normalize and Vanishing Verse is required. So there's a Growth Spiral playing Carburetti Courtyard. This is a really fun deck if you want to try something in Pioneer that's pretty good. Okay, 3 mana, 4 mana. Spelunking will counter that. We don't want them to have untapped lands. Right, we'll play a land. And it's almost time to... Apologies, just had a notification from Windows. You'll love when Windows forces itself on you there. Okay, we will wait and see what they do on their turn. They go for another Growth Spiral. Play a Fabled Passage. They're just making land drops right now. And they buy Yorion. So let's crack the Lander token. Guarantee that we can get the... Oh, I got the wrong land there, so I can't cast Niv. Yep, this is another example of when you should check your lands. But at the same time, we should hold up the Vanishing Verse here, because if they go for the Virtuous Strength, we need to make sure that does not resolve. Well, does not live long enough for value to be had. There's an ill-timed explosion. They don't discard any cards. Interesting. Aftermath Analyst, so they don't have enough mana, so we'll Vanishing Verse that, so they can't bounce all their lands back. Right, let's shock in, and then we can play Niv Mizzet.
Reload!
Unmoored Ego and a counter spell is perfect here. We don't have the blue, because once again I did not get blue. I really should have got blue when I cracked the Lander token. I need to get better at checking my land drops before I do anything here. So, we have potential here with the Vanishing Verse. The Assassin's Trophy also can be cast, which would destroy anything big that they play. So let's see what our opponent goes for. Right, land drop. Virtuous Strength to return a card. They play the Aftermath Analyst. So they now have enough mana to activate it, so we'll force the issue now, while they don't have anything on the field that could give them back stuff. Okay, they're thinning out their deck. We fizzle the attacks, we don't gain anything, but they also don't get the milled cards. So let's shock in here, and we'll Unmoored Ego, World Soul's Rage. And we'll do a deck check here. Now, there are only 2 World Souls in the deck, and I check the deck and see the Fae of Wishes, which means that their sideboard must be loaded. So, I've got to make sure if I can get a second Unmorty Yo to take out the Wishes and slow them down that way. So we'll grab our Yorion here, which will work to bounce if we need to. They Virtuous Strength back another card. Play an Omnath. We will destroy it before that. So, they activate Omnath's abilities here. They're going to gain 4 life, crack this to gain more mana. I don't think this Normalize is going to be too good if they manage to resolve a ton of stuff here. So, Virtuous Strength, casting a second Virtuous Strength, right, into a Yorion. They still have a ton of mana here, into a Nissa Resurgent Animist. Gonna use the Escape Tunnel. Escape Tunnel is gonna grab them a second Nissa. Okay, so we're going to have to... I'm thinking if Yorion or Wandering Mind's better. I think our best bet here is Wandering Mind. We don't want them to untap with this, so I think our best bet, we have to find the Maelstrom Pulse basically. Yorion blinks till the end step, but I still think it might be our best option. This way we can just hold back. We don't find it, but we do get a hard counter with the veto. So if they go for a huge thing here, we can do something with that. Also, I discard the Wandering Mind here because Cosmic Rebirthing a Wandering Mind in the end step, if they don't do anything threatening on their turn, will be great for us because we can then dig for an answer. Here's an Aftermath Analyst. They're going to mill a bunch of cards. Right now they don't have a kill spell effect on the field. So, let's Cosmic Rebirth the Wandering Mind. They have one Unknown, which I don't think is a counter spell, but let's find out. We hit the Pulse, which is perfect. So we can use the Pulse to take out those Virtues. And I'm just going to pounce on that immediately. Boom. Their mana has now been significantly reduced. So let's swing in with Niv, see if they want to block. They don't. Yorions can chump each other all day. I think our best bet is to just hold for now. See what our opponent draws. Another land. Okay. I think the best bet here is we can set up a situation. So let's use Tyrant Scorn to bounce the Yorion, so don't have a flying blocker. We can put them to 1 with our attack, but they can crack the Aftermath Analyst to gain a ton of life. So what we'll do is swing in, put them down to 1. Then we'll play this Biotech Specialist to do a double layered kill. So they now will have to, in response to this Lightning Helix, crack the Aftermath Analyst. But before that resolves, we'll crack the Lander and trigger the Biotechs to kill them, giving us a close call there. It was nice that we killed that with a double layer of protection. Alright, I'll bring back in the Supreme, take out Edgar. I don't think Edgar's going to do a lot of work here. Basically, we'll just get run over. Edgar's good in matchups where we can just throw him out there and be like, you know, sacrificial lamb that buys us time. This hand is slow, but we know that their deck is slow as well. So if they run out a Helix or a Nissa before we do anything too bad, we can survive. Yeah, there's a Nissa, so immediately Helix it so they don't get any value from it. Then we can hold up a Vanishing Verse if they go for a Spelunking. They did not go for Spelunking, interesting. We'll hold back and pass. Wait, did they not hit a land drop? Oh my god, they didn't hit land. They're a huge land deck that didn't hit land. Okay, we're going to Vanishing Verse a token here because they didn't gain any life from it. We'll play this land and we'll go for the Bring to Light here. I think our best bet here is to go for the Valky because they don't seem to have a way to deal with that. So let's throw up Valky and start going for the ultimate because it also exiles their graveyard. They discard 2 cards and pass back. I don't think Explosion hits anything bad there. Right, Nissa's going to dig with a land. Going to find a Aftermath Analyst. They'll play the Aftermath Analyst. Mill some cards. Alright, so we'll just plus Tybalt. And we'll tutor here, but we won't grab Bring to Light here. I think we just grab a Verdict and blow up their board. Next we can ultimate Tybalt here. Exile their graveyard, which will cut off their play here. Omnath gains 4 life. I don't think they have a way to deal with. Virtuous Strength gets back a land. Would have gone for something different, mate. Right, Tybalt Ultimate. Wow, we have all of their stuff now. So, with the mana that we have, we'll play the Widespread Thievery. That'll put a Niv under it. We can then cast back from our graveyard the Bring to Light for 5 mana, or the Supreme Verdict, more importantly, kill all their stuff. And then, I think we'll just play their Forest and pass it back. We have a handful of lands now, still have a Tybalt. They have an Omnath. We have a No More Lies here, so we'll use that to counter it. And our opponent concedes. Tybalt came in clutch at the end. They didn't have Planeswalker removal. Alright, match 3 versus a Jund Sack deck, I believe. So, we need red mana or blue mana here, but we can cast an Assassin's Trophy, which handles any permanents. So, let's just pray we don't get Fort Seized. Icy Black gets scared. There's a Scavenger's Talent. Okay, so we pass it back. Second land, Witch's Oven. We're going to... There's a Cauldron Familiar, so let's Assassin's Trophy that. They play a land... Cauldron Familiar, play the second Oven, so that's that. I'm going to concede to that. We needed red or blue and we didn't get either, so we couldn't cast anything and they already had an engine set up. So we'll bring in a Culling Ritual here, that's kind of the big killer. And we'll take out one of the Widespreads, because if they're a Mayhem Devil deck, we could just get ruffled really quick. That was a quick concession. However, we kept a risky hand, assuming that we could really interact with their board. We weren't expecting a perfect double oven. And also I just didn't want to give them too much more information about our deck. So we'll pass back here, hold up a Vanishing Verse or a time. Oh, we can't. There's a Scavenger's Talent. Alright, let's play a land tapped. Vanishing Verse. No. Let's see if we can make them put more into the Scavenger's Talent. So let's just Vanishing Verse that. They make a Fable. Pass back. Play land tapped. Right, odds are now they're going to draw into the Fortsies. Discard a Witch's Oven. Play a land. Will Tyrant Scorn the... they Deadly Dispute to draw 2 cards. Clearly they have a Yigra in hand, so we need to prepare for that. So let's Bring to Light for 5 and grab Reborn. And it's going to be time. We get a full spread here. Tutoring for another card is good. Okay, we're going to discard the basic swamp. We have enough black lands there. Alright, up to 6 mana. 7 mana with the treasure. Probably got to go for the throat as removal. Mayhem Devil, interesting. Okay, on our turn, we will just activate the Bring to Light for 5. I think I'm going to Clarion here and see if I can force the issue. So let's 3 damage, gain lifelink. They Deadly Dispute here, so they can kill the Niv with the Mayhem Devil triggers. If they sack their treasures here. They value their mana, interesting. So we'll swing in here, gain 6, deal 6. Yeah, I know you got a Fatal Push, buddy, but Fatal Push is up to 4. I'm glad you read that before you cast it. I feel bad when people do that. There's a Yigra. There's a Witch's Oven. So, play a land. We can kill him here. We can swing in for 6, deal 4. Play the Biotech. Make a lander token. Crack the lander token from the Biotech, put him down to 2. Get a land. Opponent concedes. They could have survived, but they would have had to sack Yigra, so I think they would have then died to the Niv attack next turn, so it makes sense. We're going to commit more to the Fatal Pushes here and take out the Widespreads. We have now confirmed the presence of Mayhem Devil, so mass treasure producing is pretty dangerous against this deck. This is all lands, no action. I'm going to mulligan. This is ooh, this is a bit rough, but if we can get this biotech specialist down, we'll be in pretty good shape. They went down to 5 for Scavenger's Talent. Play a tap land. Opponent goes to 2 lands, just levels up. Interesting. We'll play the biotech. So we now have mana fixing if we need it. There's their 3rd land. There's the Fort Seas. So they took the Wandering Mind, which is really interesting. So we'll just play a land tapped and swing in. We'll hold on to this Vanishing Verse. Okay, well they clearly didn't read Maelstrom Pulse. Alright, end step, we'll just crack the Bio Lander token. Deal 2 damage and get ourselves a color. We'll get a black. We should probably have got another blue, knowing how our blue color goes. Then we Maelstrom Pulse. I don't think they realize it kills everything with the same name. They're down to 1 card in hand. They Abrupt Decay, take out our lander. We pass back, play land tapped. We are 1 land away from hardcasting Valky, so yeah, let's go for Tybalt. Hardcast Tybalt wins the game. Alright, we are up against wait, is it or S? I can't remember. It's basically the normalized bounce house. It's Dimir bounce. Yes, I remember now. So, this one actually was a bit weird. So, I'm going to just point this out here. When did Arena change it so that if you lose connection for whatever reason, I have no idea if it was like the server or us, it returns you to the main menu and then you have to manually click on a game to go back into it? Like, I swear it didn't used to do that. It really threw me here when it happens after game 1. So, we have a Vanishing Verse. There's a Narset. We will not... Blah, blah, blah. I'm losing my mind. We will exile this Narset. They do get an activation, finding a push. Right, with that in mind, let's get down Joshua here. I'm going to get rid of the Valky and the Supreme Verdict to draw 2 bad cards. Can they trigger Revolt? No, they can do Nowhere to Run though, putting Joshua down to 0-1. Are they going to attack in? Yep, so we'll just take 2 here. There's a Grim Bobble, which will then kill the Joshua. So, big funny thing with this deck, we're going to play Edgar, because Edgar does not care. This deck does not really have artifact destruction. They have random, just kill your creatures and stuff, but they really struggle to permanently deal with Edgar here. So, I mean, you know what, I know I said I wouldn't, but I have to. I'm just going to use that one for this one just to prove how true it is in this instance. So just watch this. Nowhere to Run kills the Edgar. Edgar comes back. They buy the Urion. We make a thing. Play a land tapped. Pass back. They play a land. They could do a lot of damage here if they go double activate Mutavault. There's the Fatal Push to kill our token. They'll swing in for 2. We're okay with that. They activate, getting back a Fatal Push. You know what? I'm going to now force them to discard a card, and I'm going to kill the Otter token. So what's their other card? It was an Otawara, which could have actually dealt with Edgar. Right, we'll make another Vampire token and pass back. On our opponent's turn. They go for Urion, so let's No More Lies to counter it. And exile it, so they can't do any shenanigans to bring it back. Vanishing versus Storm Chaser's Talent, so they can't get Otter or Army going. Flip Edgar back. Play a land and attack in. Puts us down, puts him down to 14. We'll grab our Urion. See what our opponent wants to do here. There's an Unholy Annex. They draw a card here. They forget to activate, which is weird. So in response then, we're just going to go to the attack here. They're going to sack their Bobble to flip the Edgar. Sorry, not to flip the Edgar. To trigger Revolt to kill the Edgar. Flips our Edgar back. We'll play Urion here to flip our Edgar back to a full Edgar. Gives us 12 damage on the table because they can't kill our boy. They Ritual Chamber to make a demon. Activate a Mutavault. Go to combat. In the end step, we're going to destroy the 6/6 that can block. That'll go. Fatal Push kills Edgar again. It's fine with us. We make a vampire token. Attack in for 6. Puts him down to 6. We go up to 17. We just got to play patient here. They can't get rid of Edgar, so he's our ticket to victory. A slow, grindy ticket to victory, but this deck is a very slow, grindy deck that wants to grind you out. I think as well they haven't hit much of their stuff here, so there's a momentum breaker. We'll sacrifice one of our tokens. They're animating a Mutavault. They're going to go up to 8 here, so we could kill them with a Helix. I'm considering whether or not to take out the land just for flavor. I am actually going to take out the land here to force them to animate another land. Oh, they don't. They go down to 4. Weird. Right, we'll flip a token. There's an Assassin's Trophy, so let's swing in. See what their play is. They must have a nowhere to run. This town ain't big enough. Okay, that's fair. Interesting choice. Bounces are 2 things. They don't have a way to get that back though. We're gonna activate a Mutavault. You know what? We can trade 1 for 1. We'll actually kill the Mutavault here because we have enough to, and replay the Yorion. Yep. Opponent gets the basic land. Sacrifices the momentum breaker to gain a speed. We'll replay Yorion here. We won't even blink Edgar because Edgar is coming back next turn and we don't want to expose him to potential edicts here because he always comes back. Like a horror movie villain, the when it says that. I think that quote is from a horror movie. Right, opponent's looking for a way to stay alive here. They have to kill Edgar, a bunch of tokens, and not die to their own Helix here. Alright, they draw a card, gain speed. We will flip back, get Edgar flipped. God damn Edgar, I love you. Swing fully in here. So they activate a Mutavault for blockers. They will have to know where to run something here. They have to kill Yorion. Can they survive this? No, they can't. They concede. Now, interesting thing happens here. We lose connection, and as talked about at the start of this, we lose connection, and Arena sends us back to the start of the game. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird. None of my dailies have progressed. I haven't got the win from this match, and for some reason, I also hadn't had a rank change. So I eventually click on to go to play. And I end up going back into the game here, which is really weird. So that's something I wanted to highlight here. It's also weird how it happens with this game is I come back to it and I've lost time. I don't understand why after I reconnected it didn't automatically get me back into the game. It's such a weird thing for this thing to be doing. So there's another 30 seconds of this, but we'll pick it up where the new match starts. Alright, we are back, and this hand is pretty good if we can draw another counterspell. Opponent, interestingly enough, takes one of our... Yeah, so here's something I advise if you play against the Niv Mizzet deck. Look at the colors they have. They took a No More Lies here, but we had access to Back to Nature. So here's Hopeless Nightmare. This is where things can get rough. We'll get rid of Tyrant Scorn here. Play a land and we'll Back to Nature, so they literally don't have anything for their bounce targets. They do get the Scry. They kept something on top, which is terrifying. There's a Narset. This town ain't big enough. Play a land and we'll get a Wandering Mind down, see if we can find something. I think we got to take the Vanishing Verse. Unmoored Ego is great here, but yep, there's a Momentum Breaker. Sacks a card. Narset minuses, finds an Annex. Play a land tapped, pass back. There's a Hopeless Nightmare. We'll discard land, we go down to another 2 life. Such a stupidly good card for its abilities. Right, let's get rid of the Narset in case we draw something that wants us to draw cards. Oh, do they just have... Yeah, there's this town. I forgot that it can target their own stuff. But with that done, let's go for a Bring to Light here. Let's grab Niv and go for a full reload. We only find 2 cards, which is pretty rough here considering we've seen that they've got potential to do some pretty broken stuff. If they Hopeless Nightmare, I think our best bet is to bounce the is to drop the Biotech. We just gotta hope they don't have they probably have. They won't want to bounce Nivs. They'll probably just want to use like this town to bounce, yeah, their own stuff to go for a Momentum Breaker. We get sacked, go down to 5. They got max speed. We can play a Biotech to buy us some time and pass back. We play a land. They go for a Hopeless Nightmare here. We gotta drop a card and go down. Yeah, we're in trouble. There's a Narset. If Narset finds a removal spell here with her down tick, we've lost. And they find a Nowhere to Run. They can't cast it right now, so we'll just crack this lander token to just then we got a block or we'll die. There's another Bring to Light here, which is pretty good. So let's Bring to Light. And I think our best bet is, yeah, we got to Bring to Light here and hope we can find something that gets us out of this. There's a few good options, but we can only cast the Biotech, so we'll play Biotech here. We need like a miracle. That we've got to make sure they just don't have removal and edict. If they literally have, so they have removal, sorry, with Nowhere to Run. Yeah, but if they have another edict effect, we've just lost the game. Unless they have their third. Alright, there's the Nowhere to Run, killing that. Down tick on Narset. Finds an Ether Gust, which is a perfect spell because it can bounce any permanent. Yeah, we got pretty rough housed there. Right, we can run it back. As you said, this deck is pretty strong. It just runs a lot of interruption stuff. So another card you could consider for your sideboard is potentially the oh, what's it called? My heavens, what's it called? The Pest Control. I need to look at that. Right, we get Fortsies. Let's see what they want to take here. I would suggest the Veto. That is fair. And we top deck the land that would have been able to make us play the Veto, which is putting us pretty rough. There's a Momentum Breaker, which is going to make us discard a card, so we'll discard a card there. Play the Ancient Cornucopia. We need to draw another land here to go for a Bring to Light. There's a Storm Chaser's Talent. Oh, Unmoored Ego. That's pretty good. So we can Unmoored Ego here, gain 2 life. I think our best bet is to just name Hopeless Nightmare, potentially, or This Town Ain't Big Enough. I can't remember which one I name here. This town ain't big enough, yeah. So if we just take out a lot of their bounce stuff. Oh yeah, this was a funny match. So we take out that. We did miss one because of arena lag, which is really annoying. But you'll see that you've brought in a null. And that's because they think we're the meta Niv deck. So they think we have a ton of leyline bindings. So they're literally built around that. So with that in mind, let's go for Bring to Light here. We can gain 5 life. We're going to go for Niv for the reload. We hit a full spread of cards, going back up to 6, which is good. They can Momentum Breaker, which will take out our Niv, which is fine. Niv dies. They play a tap land. They're still holding up the annul here. I'm really not worried because we have the Ancient Cornucopia here for life gain. So let's just Bring to Light. I'm looking at the potential options here, and I think our best bet is going to Culling Ritual. Take out their entire board. Boom. Then with the mana available, we'll put Yorion into hand and pass back. So they have 2 options here. They can go into a full demon and activate the Mutavault. Yep, to draw a card. So what we'll do is we will Vanishing Verse, take out the Annex, gain 2 life. Play the Biotech Specialist. Now we can hold up a No More Lies for their next house. As you can see here, they're trying to set up for it, keep a Mutavault active. There's a Ritual Chamber, which was them casting the wrong side, I feel, so we'll just counter that. Play a land, play the Wandering Mind, gain 2 life, take a Tyrant Scorn here, and we'll hit him for 1. They play a Narset. We can let them get the activation on that, then we can Helix it. If we want to, we'll just see what they find. They find a Nowhere to Run. So fun interaction here. We will just bounce the Biotech. Gain 2 life with the Nowhere to Run. Nowhere to Run fizzles. Then we'll Helix the Narset to kill it. So we can apply pressure on them. Then we will just attack him with the Wandering Mind. Maelstrom Pulse and Nowhere to Run. Gaining life. Like I said, we just got to leave him with no permanence here. That's what you got to do with this deck. Don't leave them with any permanence because they will start bouncing them and bouncing their own stuff. No More Lies. Let's make you pay all of your mana for this. So you will have literally nothing to do apart from tick down. You find a Omen of the Sea, which is pretty good. Ooh, a Shuko. That's pretty good. Alright, so move to combat immediately. Swing in an attack. Let's take out this Narset. Then I think I'm looking at our options here. Yeah, I think I'm going to play Shuko, and I'm going to flash back the Mordigo. Because now if I can get Yorion in with this will be insane. So let's take away the nah, I don't think the Fear of Isolation. Let's take away the Hopeless Nightmare. So we take out the 3 copies of Hopeless Nightmare, then they literally have really nothing but maybe a Momentum Breaker that can actually do stuff. Alright, we pass back. So they can... Ooh, yep, they have a Momentum Breaker. We'll crack a Lander token here. Yes, they can double Momentum Breaker here. So we'll sack the token. Yep, there's your Fear of Isolation. Replay the Momentum Breaker. We'll crack the Shuko. Because I want to use the Yorion here. So first things first, let's Vanishing Verse this Momentum Breaker so they can't do anything with it anymore. Then let's use Yorion here to blink the board. Should have probably tapped the Ancient Cornucopia, that's my oversight. Find an Assassin's Trophy for removal. Opponent passes back. Plays an Omen of the Sea. I'd like to point out as well, they are now running out of time. You'll see that the time thing has come up in their corner. So this was a long match. There's a bit of triumph. We're on 42 life, mate. I don't think you're winning this race. I would not have attacked there. I know you've got to try and churn away here. But, yeah, you're not really... Oh, we find a Niv off the top, so let's... Reload! Find a full spread of cards. Oh, what do we even do here? We'll attack, put them down to 10. Then we just hold up interaction. They could blink with the Yorion. But I suppose if they cast for the Yorion, we could exile the Omen of the Sea to deal with that. Yeah, you'll notice now, look at their... Oh, I remember now. After, literally, they are literally running out of time. It's down to 6 minutes. They've invested 25 plus minutes in this match. They start roping. You cannot be mad at this, dude. You had a great hand. I just picked a few key pieces out of your deck. You had an amazing game 1 and game 2. You literally just got outdone in game 1 because you came up against the immortal vampire that cannot be killed. And in this match, you just literally suffered, I don't know. Genuinely was just shocked by what my opponent was doing here. So, ultimately, right, when it goes to end step, I think we just exile the blocker. But we do give them the Sprinkly Oko here, because I'm like, really, bro? You want to do this? And they just concede after that. So they were there, maybe hoping I would just quit. Alright, last match here, and I wanted to highlight this match because it was a very cool deck built around some new Edge of Eternity cards, but it was a slight change of a traditional deck. So this was, this looks to me to be Izzet in Soul. So first off, I'm like, uh-oh, I don't have green mana. So I'm seeing a lot of artifacts which would suggest this is going to be an Izzet in Soul deck. We're gonna play tap lands for now. There's a Psy Masterphopterist, so it's interesting. Now I'm like, well, now I'm intrigued. So let's kill Psy, see what our opponent is doing. We desperately need green here. Pinnacle Emissary, Springleaf Drum, making another Thopter. Springleaf Drum, equipping and stationing their land. Alright. So we don't have green and the game is insulting us here, so this one is pretty rough. They have a ton of artifacts, a ton of mana here. Solemn Simulacrum Synthesizer is going to probably run away with this if we don't draw green here. There's a Simulacrum token, so we're pretty much just dead next turn. We draw a green, but it's a tapped green, so we're just dead, so we'll concede. That again is a case of, this was, I think, me playing late at night, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got a Triome, I'm good. And then I was like, oh wait, it's not the green Triome, oopsie. So, moral lesson there from my stupidity, always check your colours. Bear that in mind, people. You should always check your colours. So this is a Pinnacle Emissary, Thopter, Simulacrum, something deck. It's weird because it's so strange. Pinnacle Emissary wants you to have just artifact spells over and over, preferably cheap ones like the Ornithopter we saw there. But the Solemn Simulacrum cares about 3+ mana, which is very strange. So it's an interesting build. We have green mana, so I'm keeping it. So this is a turn 2 Biotech Specialist into a potential Niv or a potential, yeah, we can potentially hit Niv here. Turn 4 Niv with cracking a Lander token. They play a Relic. Pass it back, we play a tap land, pass and attack in. Might as well. Plays a land, plays a Simulacrum Synthesizer, okay. Taps 2 cards and down, so let's land a token, deal them 2, get a basic, so we should get a white here, so we covered all our colours. Shock in, let's bring to light here. I think our best bet is, since we have a Niv in hand, oh, we took out the... Alright, well, we're going to cast the Niv from the hand. Reload. I sideboarded out the Valky on the turn where we literally could have used the Valky. But the Kolaghan's Command is actually really good here, so it can... Alright, there's a Legion Extruder, which will deal 2 damage to us. They will sack to make a 3/3 and make an Ornithopter. Okay, shock in, Lightning Helix, the 3/3. Then K Command, we will blow up the Synthesizer, do 2 damage to the Ornithopter. Swing in for 7, pass back. And they concede. So that was the playback to the better deck. Well, a better thing if we actually can cast our colors. So, yeah. I'm starting to think maybe Valky is just something I should leave in, because there's been so many games now where I sideboard him out for relevant sideboard pieces, and then I end up in a situation where I'm like, well, I could get Valky here for good measure. In fact, in this match it probably would have been correct, because his -3 can hit any artifact, which would have probably been very relevant. Okay, this is a no-go hand. We can keep this hand. We'll get rid of one of the biotechs. We have all our colors. Ooh, they're getting up to a pretty quick start. There's a Simulacrum Synthesizer. They keep 2 on top, which is scary, so let's just go with a biotech specialist. We need to Maelstrom Pulse on turn here. So they have enough for a Simulacrum. Makes them a 5/5. They station for 5. Alright, let's shock in. Maelstrom Pulse, take out the Synthesizers. So now it's a 3/3. Let's see what they go for. Emery. We have to kill the Emery now because Emery could reanimate the Synthesizers. There's a Cryogen Relic, draws him a card. Haywire Might, which can actually take out Edgar, which is very frustrating. We take the 5 here, which probably should not have, if I'm honest. Vanishing versus the Emery, so they can't get anything back. And pass back. Plays a land. Plays a Legion Extruder, 2 damage to us. Swinging with a 6/6 and a 1/1. We have to block the 6 here. Right, we're down to 8. Play the Edgar. In hindsight, really should have popped the 6/6 with the Tyrant Scorn here. Seen a lot of mistakes on my playback. Right, they pop the Haywire Might, which is interesting. Probably should have saved that to hit the Edgar. Torpor Orb is going to turn off Niv if he comes in. Yeah. I tried to block the 3/3 here. Should have blocked the 6/6. This was just me being insanely greedy because they can just cycle that one. Alright, so we need to draw a Bring to Light here for a spell. So let's just blow up that 6/6 while we can. Play land tapped and pass back. Hold up a blocker. They can start churning out 3/3s, which could be pretty rough for us. So they draw a card. Also, if they just draw another Legion Extruder, we just die. Alright, they crack to draw a card. They have 2 3/3s here. Pinnacle Emissary, okay. Shadow Spear. Right, it needs to be Bring to Light for a Culling Ritual here, or it's going to just get away from us and kill us. Right, then. Alright, let's cycle. Finds a land. We find Ancient Cornucopia way too late. Let's just cycle again. Find another land. And it's a, yeah, good game.